In the spring of 1800, Napoleon Bonaparte, first consul of France, stood at a pivotal moment. The French Republic, born from revolution, was battered by internal strife and external threats. The War of the Second Coalition saw Austria, Britain, Russia, and their allies determined to crush revolutionary France and restore the monarchy. Northern Italy, won by Napoleon's brilliant 1796-1797 campaign, had slipped from French control after his departure for Egypt. Austrian forces, under General Michael von Melas, now dominated the region, besieging French troops in Genoa and threatening France's southern border. Napoleon, seizing power in the 1799 Brumaire coup, saw an opportunity to reclaim Italy, secure his rule, and cement his legend. His audacious plan? Lead an army across the Alps to strike the Austrians at Marengo. Napoleon's strategic genius lay in his ability to exploit speed and surprise. The Alps, a formidable barrier of jagged peaks and treacherous passes, were thought impassable for a large army with artillery and supplies. Yet, Napoleon chose this route to outflank the Austrians, who expected a French advance from the south or west. The Great St. Bernard Pass, at over 8,000 feet, was his chosen path. A grueling climb through snow and ice, but a direct route to the Po Valley. To execute this, Napoleon assembled the Army of the Reserve, some 40,000 men, though only about 30,000 would make the crossing. The force included infantry, cavalry, and artillery, supported by mules and local guides. Secrecy was paramount. Napoleon spread disinformation, suggesting attacks elsewhere to confuse Austrian scouts. The crossing began in mid-May 1800. Napoleon, clad in his iconic greatcoat, rode a mule, not the romanticized white charger of David's famous painting. The army faced brutal conditions, blizzards, avalanches, and narrow paths where a single misstep could mean death. Artillery pieces, dismantled and dragged by hand, slowed progress, as did supply shortages. Soldiers, many in tattered uniforms, endured frostbite and hunger. Local monks at the St. Bernard Hospice provided aid, offering bread and cheese to exhausted troops. Napoleon's chief of staff, Louis-Alexandre Berthier, coordinated logistics with ruthless efficiency, ensuring the army maintained momentum. By May 20th, the bulk of the force had descended into the Aosta Valley, astonishing local villagers and Austrian outposts. The Austrians, caught off guard, scrambled to respond. Melas, with 100,000 men spread across northern Italy, had not anticipated a French army emerging from the Alps. Napoleon's immediate target was Fort Bard, a small but formidable stronghold blocking the Aosta Valley. Its garrison, loyal to Austria, held out for days, delaying the French advance and preventing artillery from moving forward. Napoleon, impatient, bypassed the fort with his infantry, leaving a small force to besiege it. By late May, his army reached Ivrea, securing a foothold in the Po Valley. The crossing, a logistical triumph, had taken just over a week, but left the army weary and stretched. Napoleon's next move was to liberate Milan, both a symbolic and strategic prize. On June 2nd, French forces under General Jean Lannes entered the city, greeted by pro-French Italians weary of Austrian rule. The capture of Milan's arsenals replenished French supplies, boosting morale. Napoleon also reopened the Simplon and St. Gotthard passes, securing supply lines to France. Meanwhile, he sent General Louis Desire south to block Austrian reinforcements, and General André Masséna, trapped in Genoa, fought to hold out. Genoa fell to the Austrians on June 4th, freeing Melas to concentrate his forces. But Napoleon's decisive rapid advance had already disrupted Austrian plans. Melas, realizing the French were in the Po Valley, regrouped near Alessandria to counterattack. Napoleon, wrongly expecting a retreat, divided his forces, a mistake that nearly proved fatal. On June 14, 1800, the Battle of Marengo began. At dawn, Melas attacked with 31,000 men and 100 guns, overwhelming Napoleon's scattered 22,000 troops. The French center, under General Victor, buckled, and Lannes's corps was pushed back. By noon, French forces were retreating in disarray, despite Napoleon's arrival and the commitment of the consular guard. Believing victory secure, Melas withdrew to Alessandria, leaving pursuit to his subordinates. In the afternoon, Decisive returned with 6,000 reinforcements, shifting the battle's momentum. Napoleon launched a counterattack. Decive's infantry hit the Austrian center, while Kellerman's cavalry shattered their flank. Exhausted and disorganized, the Austrians collapsed. Though Decisive was killed, his intervention secured a decisive French victory, with heavy Austrian losses and 8,000 prisoners. Marengo was a narrow victory, but its impact was profound. On June 15th, Melas, demoralized and fearing further losses, signed the Convention of Alessandria, ceding Lombardy and much of northern Italy to France. The victory secured Napoleon's grip on power, silencing critics in Paris who questioned his leadership. It also restored French dominance in Italy, paving the way for the 1802 Peace of Amiens, a brief respite in the Napoleonic Wars. The Alps crossing and Marengo showcased Napoleon's daring and adaptability. The campaign, executed against staggering odds, demonstrated his ability to inspire loyalty and seize fleeting opportunities. Yet, it also exposed his flaws. Overconfidence and a tendency to underestimate enemies nearly cost him the battle. Marengo's success relied heavily on subordinates like Decisive and Kellerman, whose initiative turned defeat into triumph. The road to Marengo, from the icy cliffs of the St. Bernard Pass to the blood-soaked fields of the Po Valley, was a testament to Napoleon's ambition. It transformed him from a revolutionary general into a near-mythic figure, whose legend would shape Europe for a decade. The campaign, though a fleeting triumph in the broader arc of his downfall, marked a high point of his early career, when the Alps bowed to his will and Marengo crowned his gamble. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up, share it with friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this.